What's good, chat? What's good? It's Saturday night. We got some Monster of the Week action. Our weekly tournament series that is free to play in, and you get coffee just for participating. I am having not a good day. Not a good day. I had my own tournament that I played in, and I scrubbed out. I did terrible. Some play errors. I don't want to say variance or luck because it wasn't like, oh, well, I just got a terrible hand of cards and my opponent got great cards or whatever, because that wasn't the case. It was just bad matchups, I think. Maybe a better player could have navigated it better. We'll never know. But instead, we're going to be talking about some phobies. We only have a few games that we're going to be looking at. I am very tired. I almost didn't stream. But there were a couple games that were asked explicitly to make sure that they made it onto stream. So we're going to try and pull those up, take a look at them. Like I said, truncated version. But before we get into it, I have to let you know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does in fact give me coffee for producing Phobies content. They provide the prizes for Monster of the Week, which, as mentioned, do include coffee just for participating. So we're going to pull one of these up, and I don't want to spoil it because, I mean, I get spoiled because I have to look at it, but excuse me. So, preface, I am told that this game is good for Karst's Guide because it's a great showcase of Ace. So we're going to take a look at this game. Once again, zoning into Shadow Force versus Potenzia 2 here on Chapeltown. So as mentioned, this is an Ace game. Ace-centric focused game. We'll see what the players have in store. This map rotation was actually pretty interesting. So there were a few maps, and I'm going to try and pull this up as we're waiting for things to load. So the map pool for this was Ill Intent, Chapeltown, Musomia, and Desolation Row. 3 of those 4 maps, well, certainly 2 of the 4, arguably 3, have not really gotten a ton of time to shine. We have seen a bunch of games on Chapeltown, but we've definitely seen more on Musomia. Ill Intent and Desolation Row, I don't think we've really had any games on. So after this, we'll go through the bracket, see if maybe we can find one on one of those maps to take a peek at. But we're having an interesting starter here. We get an early Crushmore out of Shadow Force. This seems very much calculated. Response from Potenzia is a Daisy, which I'm not in love with. This map is large enough that maybe in this upper quadrant, if you're hanging out there, it makes life challenging for the other player to get a droney onto it. This break by Shadow Force is actually pretty cute. Why does this matter? Because it allows for a straight run from the vault to, excuse me, to that southernmost panic point, allowing you to just cap it, recap it much more readily than you would otherwise be able to. If you look at Potenzia's side of the board, it's going to take 3 moves to get there with any other 1 key. So we see the Innocuous getting added. Who could have possibly seen that coming? Innocuous? Never heard of it. Alright, looks like Tickles is going to go down. We did have a little bit of chip damage going on to Crushmore. There are spas. There's obviously the potential for healing. And no real threat to Crushmore's life, at least at this stage. There is the risk. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. If the Innocuous moves up in order to poke at the Crushmore, it is pretty safe. I don't think there's any way. Actually, I take it back. There is a way to snipe this if Potenzia pushes up. We'll see if Shadow Force recognizes it. Alright, Potenzia not bothering to move forward. Maybe they also saw the potential dead Innocuous on the menu. Instead, we're going to clear out some 1 keys. And then probably take a more defensive position. Yep. Pulling the Daisy back so that it isn't exposed. The Ash is actually very interesting. Like, in general, this is actually pretty wild. And I think I said Ace earlier. Was it Ace? Yeah, the notes say that it's a good Ace game. I wonder if the intent is Ash, not Ace. I know that we've had players in the past try and push Ash. We'll see. We'll see. There is a Hydra on the board, so there's the potential for Ace as well. Chad, I think I'm extremely dehydrated, and that's part of my issues right now. We'll see. Got to chug a little bit of water. Let's get chat back up there. All right, 1 keys trading out. No real significant damage or board positional changes. Panic points going to get leveled out here as Hydra worms its way into the center of the map, slithers its way, and we get the OG Spider in Miss Moffat. A much more threatening phobia at this stage, given the composition that Potentia has. I'm not sure where Shadow Force is going to pull this. Like, how is this Ace? What is this Ace doing? Zappy is the follow-up. All right, I'm starting to see where this might be going. The one-movers clearly get extra leverage due to the displacement from Ash. More pot shots going down onto Crushmore, slowly whittling it down. So an Ash pull here would allow for a single Zappy hit, which is not going to be significant enough given what's in range of the Hydra. You're not killing it. Their entire team is protecting it, and now we have a cupcake to follow things up. We're over halfway through this game, and it still seems unclear exactly how this Ash is going to play in. Heartbreaker. Okay. Okay. We have all the team displacement. Something is going to end up right in Potenzia's lap. I'm just not clear which phobia it is yet. It's going to be Zappy, right? Like, it's got to be Zappy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shadow Force with 6 keys and 1 slot open. Still 12 keys available for Potenzia, and I don't think it's a... I don't think I'm stretching it to say that they have a board positional advantage. Like, they seem to be way ahead at this point. They have more keys, they have more panic points, they have more phobies. They arguably have better phobies. Alright, we're getting pot shots from Ash. And that's a Blondie, so it's obviously Ash was the intent, not Ace. That's okay. I'm not mixing them up, am I? No, it's Ash. It is Ash. Ace is the fish tank variant, which is what I... excuse me. Which is what I thought, but... just making sure. Get the yoink. Is this a dead Zappy? Very much seems like it's a dead Zappy. This is a lot of stray damage going down. Thanks to at least a couple of these being mechanicals, but Zappy is dead. Okay, I take it back. It's Ace, but from the other side. I'm not gonna lie. I don't... Okay. Well, we'll let it play out. We'll let it play out. Boop. Displacement. Screech. It does, in fact, hit the Ace. Whoop. 2,800 health on this. Still 1,100 damage. It's a lot of damage. So depending on what Potenzia wants to do here, I think you back up the Daisy and then yoink the Blondie into range to be able to double hit with the Ace. I don't know if that's enough damage to actually kill it, but... looks like we're just going to soften things up. Spider zigzagging all over the place. 1,100 damage, just pummeling this Blondie. Pretty sick. Ooh, we get the Ash Pole. Down goes Hydra, but I mean, that Blondie is right on top of this ace. Oof, that doesn't seem ideal. Admittedly, still powered down. But that's 330 damage. Well, it's already dead. It's not even that much damage. Wasn't unnecessary. Down goes Blondie. Ace just pulverizing it. I've said it before. I underestimated Ace upon release because it's like, what is this really a necessary role? Is this a thing you want? But the numbers are just so big. Ace just represents such an enormous amount of damage that you can end up crushing it. Or crushing things. Down goes Shadow Force. Well played. GG. One must question. Why did Shadow Force choose to do those things? Because there were some questionable Phobie decisions in that game. And that is not intended to take away anything from Tenzia by any means. However, weird. Let's see here. So I would pull up the other Shadow Force games, but I know for a fact, well, I take it back. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that both Kira and Marky, well, Kira I think is a newer player. Marky I do not believe is a newer player, but we're going to take a look at some other games. Let's see what map this was on. Is this the new map? No, it's Muso Mia. Alright, we're going to try and find another game. We'll come back to this if we have to. If we must. Alright, chat. We actually found an Ill Intent game. This is a very quick game. This is Thunder versus Dear H. You've seen Dear H on many occasions. Slayer? That's a decision point. Of all the Phobies you could have put on the board, that's absolutely one of them. It's absolutely a Phobie. Nobody can deny that. It is in fact a Phobie. And it is in fact on the board. I challenge anyone to provide evidence to the contrary. Go ahead. I dare you. I don't know. I'm tired, chat. I'm feeling a little loopy. I didn't get to eat until much later than I normally do. Honestly, I wasn't that hungry until I started eating. Because I'm like, you know, it's been hours. I probably should eat even though it's kind of late. So I go to Taco Bell. I eat the burrito. And then it hits my stomach and I'm like, oh man. Like, my body's like, oh yeah, that's what it's like to have something in the belly. I gotta take better care of myself, chat. I don't do a good job at all. Why is that boomer there? What is happening in this game? Like, I was being silly at the beginning for the sake of being silly. But, like... What? Somebody explain this to me. Like, I don't... I am tired. I had a bad day because I played poorly. It didn't go well. Like, it's one of those days that tomorrow I'm just going to be like, you know what? It's over. Day's over. We're not thinking about it anymore. But what in God's name is happening here? Somebody, this Phantom's about to get cooked, isn't it? Dear H is going to let it hang. We're going to get shove sharked in, and it's going to get laser beamed to death, isn't it? Does somebody get kerbloomed? That's weird. Ugh. I mean, it's a triple panic point advantage. That's a Hevo 3.0. If you move there, you summon... I don't even know if you can get this Kerbloom to connect. Because at this point, there's nowhere for Dear H to hide. That Hevo can just shell the hell out of the heart, and it's going to splash onto everything. Yep. Oh, no. Yeah, I can see why this game ended on turn 14, because this game is over. I think the second the Hevo hit, it was over. I would have liked to have seen the, well, I guess the Shove Shark being behind the Hevo wouldn't have mattered, because you could not shove it so that it could double hit the heart. But regardless, yeah, the setup there with the Phantom, seen it on many occasions, but that one was not working out. GG. Well played. All right, chat. We'll look at one more. That was a quick one. Let's see here. No, we'll look at one more Shadow Force game. See how this one went. It was cool seeing something on Ill Intent. I don't know what the general feeling on that map is. It's not one that seems to, like, come up all that often. So now we gotta find this game. Oh, God. I should have picked a different game, chat. 32-turn game on Muso Mia between Shadow Force and Marky. Strap in, everybody. I hope you hit the potty before this one, or you're wearing diapers. It's about to get messy. You think I should put that on my caster highlight reel, chat? I was talking to somebody today as I was scrubbing out of the tournament, and I'm like, you know, I think I'd have more fun casting events, and I think I would. I enjoy casting stuff. I enjoy watching the games, especially if I'm competitive in the game, or was. Like, I talked about it before. I haven't played Phobies in a long time, but I like watching Phobies. I think I still have the recognition for strategery. And I love the game, so I like talking about it. Shadow Force just, like, was all in on this Ashe today, huh? Poor K. Marky taking the Southern Panic Point. It's a 4-1 Panic Point advantage. Big map, but big pressure early on. Inoculus coming out. I can almost feel the wave of sigh. Like, just... coming out of everyone as another Inoculus hits the board. The build-up on both sides. We got Puff coming out for Shadow Force. This did not appear in the other game that we watched. Shadow Force able to flip the panic point advantage, obviously stemming the bleeding prior to this. I wouldn't be surprised to see Marky sacrifice the cat here. It's not ideal. But the biggest issue is ensuring that you do not allow yourself to get bombed by that Puff. Or maybe you let yourself get bombed because then you are able to bait it in. So, like, if you left stuff there, baited the bomb, you could jump scare out of the vault and probably kill the Puff. Possibly. Maybe Shadow Force never would have been on the bait. We're actually going to instead go for the Hevo in the north, who has absolutely seen better days. My man needs to go in for some repairs. Is anybody a mechanic? Clinico is. The good doctor. Coming out, healing up the pals. Panic point advantage remains Shadow Force, and arguably Shadow Force has the superior force here. Ash is a handicap, but the Puff does allow you to threaten your opponent's positioning all the time. Your opponent has to constantly respect it, and it's way easier to position the Puff than it is for them to reposition their entire team. And although the Ash is cute, I don't know that it's enough to try and get things done with the way you want to do them right now. But does it matter? We get an oldie but a goodie. It is Boss. We haven't seen Boss in some time. I think it showed up in a viewer game, like one game, like a month ago, maybe. But post-nerf, Boss has kind of been riding the pine. Once the terror of the ladder. I saw the snowball move and I'm like, wait a minute, can you actually cook this stabby? And then I second-guessed myself. I'm like, there's no way. That doesn't make any sense. Just over a third of this game in the books. Oh, the challenge play, maybe? Looks like we're going for it. Big ol' You're Fired, connecting with a huge amount of Marky's team, including some rather... Ooh, that is sick. I do love that. That's a great Ash play. Pulling the boss out of the fire. Proverbial in this case. But that snowball's cooked. As well as the Crushmore and the Innocuous. Neither are very happy about their current state in life. Alright, Crushmore is going to retreat to the panic point to try and cool off. We get Plaid coming in. Able to get a big splash hit. And that frees up the Ray Chargels to take down this Hevo. That's a pretty big swing here down in the south. Alright. This game's getting scrappy. Team Fire versus Team Electric. Woolly Bully. I kind of get it because you want the anti-AoE that can land on a Plaid. And it might be a little challenging to connect just because the Plaid is... Plaid? Whew, can't talk. Getting tired. Is just a little bit too mobile. It might be a challenge to actually make this happen. But you never know. We'll see. Alright, and the forces build up again. 4-1 panic point advantage temporarily. Boss getting a free... Well, we'll see if it's free. Does get a hit. Ooh, wow, look at this. Alright, Woolly Bully powering down the Ray. I don't think Boss was really in danger of dying. Well, actually, Boss could have died, because you can get the Innocuous off the stim, 2 hits from Plaid, a hit from Crushmore, as well as the Ray. That probably kills that Boss, right? Boss is still going to take an absolute beating here, unless Marky decides to lay off the beats for whatever reason. However, we should be getting another You're Fired soon, which means that Marky does need to spread out. And this is the best spread that they can probably accomplish at this stage. That's not a great spread. I think you're just sacrificing Boss here, and Ash is probably live. Blom. Never mind, you didn't even need You're Fired. You just get the Blom to cook the Innocuous. Do go for the You're Fired. This aiming to cook the Crushmore as well by targeting the Razormouth. But 2 team displacement tools, both Shove Shark as well as Ash. That's actually... Medication delivered direct to your door. Just call Clinico Medical Services. Actually, it's probably the Ash and Shove Shark delivery team. It was actually adorable, that entire sequence. And hilariously, even after all of that, he dies anyway. It required extra effort. Like, it seems pointless to a degree, but it required the extra effort from Marky. Oh, this is a funny game. I'm glad we watched this. This game is hilarious. Poison going down on Crushmore. It's kind of Plaid versus the world. As long as... well, there's still the Ray. I forgot about the Ray. You need the Puff to... Yeah, you got to get the Puff out of there. The Puff can't die. 0 keys remaining for Shadow Force. Is the Crushmore dead? It is dead. Juiced hit from the Plaid. Bunch of damage going down on Ash, but to be honest, Ash has done its job. That's tough because the Ray is just kind of trapped. So this Ray dies this turn, and then it really is Plaid versus like the entire team. Panic Point Advantage Shadow Force. Jill and Ted's Unpleasant Adventure. That's going to be the title of the movie. Jill and Ted's Unpleasant Adventure. It's not exactly the rom-com that you'd want to take somebody to. Not quite the summer blockbuster you were looking for. 4-1 Panic Point Advantage. Marky is forced into engaging. Given the split, the best you could hope for is a double hit there onto Shove Shark. So instead we're going to take the pot shot onto Puff. Clinico should probably be up at this point for... Actually, no. Clinico's probably not up this turn. Probably next turn. However, it's still a 3-2, so you can... Oh, it is back up. Okay. Boop. Sick. Cooking the Clinico. Cooking the Jar. Jar is probably dead. Clinico lives, though. Is this worth it? This is highly aggressive from Shadow Force here. Given the heal that went down, you still have a pretty healthy Puff. And Plaid doesn't do that much damage. The thing is... Alright, so we're going to go for the Woolly Bully. Woolly Bully should be back up. This would be a better Blom, but obviously doesn't have it. No access at the moment. Do get the power down here onto Plaid. Oh, I thought we were going to get a boop to push the Woolly Bully into hit. However, instead, it's a 5-1 Panic Point advantage. I don't think that's how Shadow Force is going to win this game. But the additional pressure to give your opponent different objectives that they need to achieve in order to try and get back into the game is a big deal. But you can see the already anemic damage of Plaid is being further penalized by that Wooly Bully, and it's a painful spot to be on this side of that equation. Wooly Bully slapping the crap out of Ted. Cat means end of Lovebird number 1. And pretty soon it looks like it's going to be the end of Marky. Shadow Force boxing him in. Very well played with the positioning. Very well played. Takedown there on Clinico. Pushing some spare damage onto the Puff, but that Puff is going to make it at least one more turn. And that's kind of all that matters. The attack animation for Electric Cat is so long. It's wild. Blom. Down goes Marky. GG. Very well played. That actually was a very interesting last game. It was a cool game. But if you're interested in playing in some weekly Phobies tournaments, hit up the Random Slots Discord. The link for that is, of course, in the description of this video. But that's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more Random Slots.